Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Let's Play of Hearts of Iron 4. My name is Kyle, and I'm joined here by Innocentius. We are playing through my first game of Hearts of Iron, so I am learning the ropes. Welcome, Innocentius. How are you?
Hey Kyle, going well. And we're winning a war in Spain, at least we're trying to.
We are. Our little volunteers, led by you, are doing a great job.
So let's get the time running.
Yeah.
So how was the things in preparation for invasion of Turkey going? Does it look good?
Let's see. We look pretty good here. I mean, what are we up to timeline wise before? I don't even know how to find that.
So if you right click on Turkey again,
Uh-huh.
you can see like a small pop-up that of small icon on the left side of the screen, which shows you the progress if you hover over it.
Oh. Okay, so we're expected to be finished by November 10th of this year. So we've got it quite a ways, but overall it's looking pretty good. We've got our troops there lined up on the border.
Nice.
And thanks to your expert organizational skills, got a lot of mountaineers ready.
I love mountaineers.
Yeah, or as they like to call them,
Yeah, I'm
Just
not.
like
I'm
that.
not even trying that one.
Yeah, that's their names. So, thanks to them, we're almost ready.
Hooray!
Looks like you're doing a good job cleaning up some of these pockets of troops over here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going quite well.
Excellent. Oh, what's next for us? What's our research? Oh, 2 days until we're done with basic machine tools.
Right, which gives us a really good next path for industry, actually.
It does. Production efficiency cap of oh, there we go.
Do you
Just
wanna?
like that.
Do you wanna take care of that one?
I surely will. I really like managing this sort of stuff. I like the research aspect of this game a lot.
It's really nice. Like you don't have to micromanage everything. Share the load.
Yeah, it works really well. So, okay, this is something we talked about before. I'm in the industry tab. We're looking. We got done with. Uh-oh.
That's
Treaty
just
of-
Ethiopia being annexed. Ethiopia starts at war with Italy, and this just meant that Italy finally won that war.
Sorry, Ethiopia. Better luck next time.
Yeah, tough luck, buddy. You can't win them all.
We need to decide between concentrated industry or dispersed industry.
Yes.
And I know we talked about this one in the past. So, concentrated is going to give us plus 15% to factory output, plus 10% to dockyard output, and max factories in the state goes up by 20%. Let's see, what are our differences? So, if we disperse our industry, we get only 10% factory output, so 5% less. Dockyard is the same. We get production efficiency retention,
Which is pretty
efficiency
nice.
Base. Factory bomb vulnerability is down by 10%, and max factories in the state's 20%. So that number stays the same.
Right.
I mean, my gut maybe says this time I'm for concentrating it. I mean, we put our factories behind the front line. I mean, I guess we have some probably in the front from what the game did.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. So if I go into production construction tab and click here. Okay, so yeah, we have at least a couple on the front line there. Not too many actually, not too bad. Except for our front line. Well, Leningrad is pretty bad. That's 10 out of 10. So
Yeah. Oh, we have a new option for purging stuff.
oh, do we?
Trial of the
Read away.
21. After several rounds of arrest and trials, the Great Purge has weaved a narrative that led up to this trial. Among the accused are not only old leaders like Nuclear Bukharin, but a number of diplomats, politicians, military officials, and even many high-ranking NKVD officers. The charges are also more extensive than previously, including decade-old plots to murder Soviet leaders and sell the Soviet Union to its enemies. The fact that the NKVD themselves are now among the targets of the purge has in a sense brought the proceedings in full circle. Threats and beatings have led to many confessions to all charges, even the most outlandish ones. The leading defendants face executions. So we can focus upon our Navy and Air Force, or everywhere pretty much. And the Navy and the Air Force will kill off a couple of guys that give us bonuses to those kinds of things, like better, what do you say? An air reformer genius is in there. We gain more experience for air battles and stuff like that, which we use to upgrade our planes. Some better ship fighting, everything like that. Or a guy which is, pretty much this division recovery rate guy. So our divisions have a certain morale. That's the green bar on all of them. And when you battle, you take damage on your morale as well. And this guy helps us regain that morale loss faster.
He sounds useful.
Yeah, he does. And the other guys don't really sound useful. So let's kill off the Navy and Air Force officers, because
agreed.
Who cares about them?
Yeah, we're not. We clearly de-emphasized our Air Force, and our Navy's pretty much the same.
Yeah, and we can totally get away with that since we're the Soviet Union, and nobody really cares about our Air Force and our Navy.
Yeah. We'll just focus on our troops, which we're clearly doing. So
we are clearly focusing on our troops. It's gonna be great.
Let's see. Our factories are pumping out stuff. What are we at? Because Did
you get a new research thing?
Oh no, I got distracted. Thank you for reminding me.
Because the research says up to 30 days, but after that, you will literally lose some progress.
Oh gosh. Okay, well let's.
So I paused the game. So take your time.
Let's do. Well, how about we just centralize? Yeah. Why don't we concentrate our industry?
I'm totally in favor of that.
Unless you're okay. Very good. Let's do it. So we're gonna research it. So wait, what was that now? If it goes past 30 days, what happens?
So if you don't have a research at the moment, and you still let time tick by, he will save up those research days up to 30 days in total. So you don't have to pause immediately, like full stop, everything stops right now, I'm gonna pick a research. No, you have some leeway in there, as in like, okay, take your time, you have 30 days. This is especially useful in multiplayer where you can't pause.
Right.
And then you have some time to actually make a decision for your research.
Well, I'm glad you reminded me to check, because I forgot I had not selected it. I got distracted. Oh, with the NKVD purges, which are a good thing to get distracted.
It means we're almost done with the purge.
Yeah, how long? Let's see. What do we
60
got
days left, I think.
Doing well. Doing very, very well.
Yes, we are.
So then, what are we gonna go after next, I wonder? Now, is this something where we want to go traditionally down one tree first, or...
It depends on what your goal is, pretty much. In this case, since we want to get rid of those purchase terrible things, it is actually useful to go down that singular path to lead to lessons of war. Since we know we're going to declare war on Turkey relatively soon, we can time that to coincide quite nicely with each other.
That'll be very, very good, because that's what, 70, so that's 70 days, so 210 days will go by to get all those to get all those national focuses in.
Yeah, but we have to be at war with Turkey before we can select that focus. So,
oh, good. So we only need 140 days, and we are... I'm gonna get this. We are... Where's the actual math? Progress. Oh, okay. So 250 minus 118. So that fits into our scale very, very well.
Excellent. I like to hear that.
Not gonna do that mental math. Calculator, what do you say? 250 minus 120 now, so 130. Oh, that's gonna fit in so well. It's only gonna be 140, and we got one. That's cool.
All right, I like to hear that.
Perfect planning.
In the meantime,
Excellent
I'm
guidance.
making short work of those stupid Spain people. I mean, not
GC.
people of Spain are stupid, but the enemies of our in Spain are stupid, I would say.
Yes. Hey, we got construction taken care of. Okay.
All right,
Let's get back over here.
so that makes, because we can't do the next level of construction because we're ahead of time. I mean, we technically could, but we
Right.
probably shouldn't. So what do you want to research next?
Well, we're fighting a lot, and we're gonna go into war. Ooh, 279 days. I was gonna suggest mass assault doctrine, but we're gonna be in the thick of that war before that completes.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But there is also another problem what crops up then. If we finish the purge, we will gain a 10% penalty to researching those kinds of technologies until we get rid of it when we declare war on Turkey.
Right, okay.
So we can
Well-
either start now or we can leave it to after the war with Turkey.
We could, there's also, I don't know if synthetic oil, how useful that is, but that's available for us in the industry tab.
So what that does is it allows you, just like factories, to build a synthetic oil plant. And a synthetic oil plant provides you with 7 oil and 4 rubber, which has a certain usefulness, but there is a catch to it as well. If you go to our laws in government, which you can get to by pressing Q or pressing on our flag in the top left, you see there are 3 buttons on the law and government and then 3 empty ones, right?
Yes.
The second one is our export focus trade law.
Right.
So currently that means that for every resource that our nation produces, 50% of them are available to be bought by other people.
Oh.
So for every 7 oil that we gain from the synthetic oil plant, 50% will be able to be bought by other people. So we don't literally get all of those resources directly for our benefit, which is a really important thing to remember.
Yeah.
So and they're also quite expensive to produce. For example, a military factory costs 7,200 production points,
Ooh.
while a synthetic refinery costs 13,000 production points.
Oh my.
So we can almost build 2 military factories for every synthetic plant. So if you're Germany, for example, and you want to build a lot of tanks, but you don't have oil and you can't trade with it from America or the Soviet Union, then it could be interesting for building some synthetic oil plants. But a Soviet Union who already has oil, it's not that necessary.
That makes sense. Speaking of oil, why don't we maybe go into some maybe tanks here? We could either
That's
research
really interesting idea indeed.
T-35, a heavy tank, or we could just continue going with our light tanks. Since we're already producing some light tanks, is it easier for our factory to flip over to produce the next variant of that tank?
Yeah, it's a little bit easier than normally if you would switch from tanks to, say, guns. Then you would start completely at the beginning again with your production efficiency, which caps it's limited to 10%, I believe. So they are producing at 10% efficiency instead of our maximum right now, I believe, is 60. But if you switch from light tank 1 to light tank 2, then it's only halved. So if they're at 50% efficiency, they go to 25%.
We also have the option to start researching some anti-air and anti-tank guns. That's something useful, as well as just our flat-out, like our maintenance companies, field hospitals, and the such that we already discussed.
Absolutely. We could also use some support companies, and that brings us to pretty much the question: how are we going to design our units? What do you want to make them look like? Do you want some dedicated tank regiments? And then do you want them to be light or heavy? Or do you want to have every infantry should be supported by a heavy tank?
Well, I like the latter of the two. I like the idea of the infantry being supported by heavy tanks.
I really like that as well. It's really powerful, I think, as well. I tend to use it often in my games. And that just means that we probably have to research some heavy tanks then, so we can start producing those.
Let's do it. Let's get some move on the T-35 here. We'll go ahead and research 186 days. That fits our timeline pretty well. So that's selected.
Yeah.
So, yeah, resume away. That's good. And then to kind of recap something you told me in a prior game, the movement speed of our light tanks does not make them very useful to be kept with our infantry. They move significantly faster, whereas our heavy tanks, if I'm correct here, correct me if I'm wrong, but they move at about the same speed as our infantry, just a little bit faster, making them very good as a to combination.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Our infantry moves, I believe, at 4 kilometers per hour, and heavy tanks have a similar rate of.
Yeah, they're very close. Let's see, click for details. He moves at 5. So, yep, only 1 kilometer per hour faster. So perfect.
So we're not wasting much of our speed over there.
Right.
So
well, that'll be fun to have those tanks going through the mountains. Is that a problem in this game? Do tanks have any issues with impasses like mountains?
Yeah, that brings their speed to way lower than their maximum. It's pretty much their maximum speed in good conditions. But going through mountains will also impede normal infantry units. But we have 150 political power points, which means we can do something cool. If you click on our nation's flag, you can see that a lot of buttons are light up all of a sudden.
Time to modify the government.
So there are a couple of things we can do. The first one, that is the conscription law, which literally currently we're recruiting 1.5% of our population, which still yields us in 1.2 million men available for us to put into service.
Got it, and that's up at the very top of the screen there, that 1.2 million. Okay.
Yeah. So we don't really have to modify that. We can modify our trade law, but there's no need. We'll start with a good one. The third one is our economy law, and that is how much of our how much of our factories are being used to produce consumer goods, the toasters. And currently we have civilian economy, which gives us that 30% of all factories that we have must be going towards producing consumer goods. On top of that, we also get a penalty for construction speed for our military and civilian factories of 30%. Now we can go to partial mobilization, which brings down the consumer goods factory to 20% instead of 30%, and we get, instead of minus 30% construction speed, plus 10% construction speed for military factories. So that's a swing of 40%.
Got it. And let's see, how is our construction towards these factories going? Let's see.
There is a downside to that one though, because if the world tension rises by another 2%, we will be able to go to war economy instead, which will give us another 10% bonus and another 5% reduction for consumer good factories. So there will be some loss because eventually we have to go to war economy anyway.
Well, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I also see that we have research and production lit up, meaning we could potentially invest points into our heavy tank designer as we're about to start producing them, right?
And that's absolutely a great idea, because it will give us, first of all, a 10% reduction on this on the time it takes to research it. But beyond that, we also get a bonus. And if you click on the tank icon, you can see the 3 tank designers that we have available to us. And each of them has a special bonus to tanks. So when you hire that company, and that company then takes care of research of all your tanks, the ones we're researching right now included. And once it's finished, you see a little stamp of them on that research, and that research will get the bonuses that designer has.
Well, let's see, armor research time. So I'm looking at the heavy, the Okmo one. They have the 10% research reduction, but it's also going to give us a heart attack bonus. Well, I don't know if we're really running into that many enemy tanks. Have you seen any? Because I haven't
seen any, but I kind of feel that we will encounter some of them. And the one, I really like the heavy tank designer. We're going with heavy tank, so it kind of fits as well.
It fits.
But also because it gives 5% extra armor. And armor is the thing, if enemy divisions can't penetrate your armor, then you'll take less damage. but you also do more damage to them.
Oh.
You
well, then
damage their
my
morale
answer
a
is
lot faster. So
Ah,
I like Okmo.
selected.
Excellent.
We're in a unanimous agreement here.
We want the heaviest of the heaviest tanks.
Yes, the party agrees.
If you look at Spain, you can actually see a couple of volunteers from other nations also joining in the fight in Spain.
Oh, really? Where are they? Let's see.
Are
they the blue?
No, they're
No,
the
let's see.
ones with the German flags, the Japanese flags, and the Italian flag.
I see.
So I have a couple of them surrounded and trying to kill them off. And what that means, that once they are gone, that Germany actually will have lost some units. So those are units that won't be invading the Eastern Front any longer.
Well, that's good for us.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like, that this way, even though we're not at war with each other, not even close, we can still do damage to Germany already.
Wow, look at us going here. I'm clicking through some of these different views. I love these little lenses. Oh.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of useful ones.
Oh!
We finished the purge!
Yay! What do we say here? Good.
So we can go to a new national focus. I would recommend going down towards Lessons of War, and that gives us 2 paths. And I will let you choose which one you want to go for.
Okay, so we can either do the Rehabilitated Military or NKVD Primacy.
And the same as for research goes as well for the focuses. You don't have to select it immediately. There is some leeway, but instead of 30 days, it's only 10 days here.
Well, it looks like if we're going to go Rehabilitated Military, we would have to have Permanent Revolution done.
No, that's actually not true. The dotted line means one of the two.
Oh, let's see. Requires one of the following. I don't understand why it's in red then. I'm confused.
Because we don't have the Permanent Revolution, but we should have the Great Purge in green. We can select it.
Yes, yes. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know if my brain works with their coloring scheme here, but sure.
It's a choice of how they decided to represent it. If it's the correct one, that's very debatable.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even bashing them. I just don't know if my brain can navigate it. Because to me, that reads as like, oh, you're missing one of the two. But that's also probably because I'm not very used to reading these.
You get used to it really quickly. But the problem with it is as well, they're not really consistent, I feel like. Sometimes with that as well, so but we have to make a choice. Do we want to go rehabilitate military with military reorganization, or do we want to strengthen the NKVD, which is our secret service?
Yeah, our secret police here. It's making a decision because we also then have to choose the next one as well, regardless.
Yeah, and the diamond with the exclamation mark inside of there means that they're mutually exclusive, so you can only choose one.
So let's see, Rehabilitated Military, our reinforced rate is up by 2%, and division recovery rate's up by 10%. The next in line, Military Reorganization, effect one-time 50% research bonus for land doctrine army experience, plus 20%. I'm assuming just says plus 20.
Yeah, it's not plus 20% because in the top you see the 3 stars. The first one is army experience, so we'll literally just gain 20 of that. And army experience is used to modify your divisions or make variants of your planes and of your tanks to become stronger tanks.
That makes sense. So what do we want to do here? NKVD primacy, gain nationalist spirit, NKVD, which grants subversive activities cost is negative 50%. And the next one, NKVD divisions, they're now more tightly integrated with our army, making sure soldiers' morale and faith is... Oh, well, see, I'm a huge NKVD supporter, so I think I want to go with them.
That seems like a great idea.
Keep our morale high.
Yeah, I like it.
Political officers to the front.
And that brings us to the end of the episode, I think. We're already done. I
think you're about right, huh? Wow, that was fast.
Time goes so fast when we play these games, right?
Yes, it does. So make sure you tune back in. We are going to continue with this awesome game as Valder teaches me more and more and more about it, and I am slowly but surely picking it up. Hopefully, you guys are finding this useful. So until next time, bye bye.
Bye.